This is Syria. This is Damascus. Some of the explosions took place in Damascus, but it was mostly in the Baca area or the Baca Valley. This whole region was also targeted. So this is where these pagers also got exploded, and then you also have the Baca Valley. Some of them exploded here. In other words, this is the region where these explosions took place on the pagers. Now, there are so many things happening right now. So, Hezbollah right now has vowed to retaliate against Israel for a sophisticated and coordinated attack that detonated thousands of pagers carried by the Lebanese militia's members, plunging Beirut into a widespread panic. Hezbollah said 10 of its members had been killed. Now, this number of the casualties that Hezbollah took is something very, very significant for our discussion. If you don't remember, Shukr, he was a Hezbollah commander, Fuad Shukr. When he got killed by Israeli forces, we have seen the retaliation. He was killed back in July. I believe it was end of July. And then in August, Hezbollah retaliated with hundreds and thousands, not thousand, I think it was like 300 rockets or drones attack on Israel. Israel at that time, first time in this conflict we have seen, they were very, very strict when it comes to Western media reporting on those attacks by Hezbollah. And it gave us this reason, this suspicion to think that these attacks, these retaliatory attacks because of Fuad Shukr, Hezbollah commander's assassination, was severe in nature, that Israel wanted to hide. And so they banned Western media, restricted them from reporting. Now you have 10 people, 10 Hezbollah people or members got killed. So for one, if they could fire hundreds of rockets into Israel, for 10, obviously they are lower in ranks, but still they are their members. You can imagine what kind of retaliation is coming to Israel. The group said that it would continue. So Hezbollah said it will continue its attack along the southern border with Israel that have raised fears of a widening regional conflict. But here comes the kicker. But they vowed to avenge separately the pagers blast. In other words, the retaliation that will be coming from Hezbollah for this pager attack will be completely different in a way that Israel did not expect. Now we have some other reports here. For example, Jeanine Hennis, her name is Plashert, the UN's special coordinator for Lebanon, called the attack. She called this attack on Hezbollah, quote unquote, extremely concerning escalation, end quote, and urged all parties to refrain from any further action or bellicose rhetoric which could trigger a wider conflagration that nobody can afford, end quote. Now, Israel right now, they're panicking. The first thing I have to mention in this regard is that they have already declined that they did not do it. Obviously, they lie all the time. They make things up. They fake news. There is another news now where it said that IDF is now approaching to Lebanese borders in order to invade or do a ground operation against Lebanese army or Hezbollah. That to me looks like a complete fake news. It's a propaganda war kind of thing for IDF, because they know that this war they're losing big time. Number one, they cannot defeat Hamas. Number two, just a day or two ago, this Houthis, Yemeni fighters, they launched this ballistic missile that came into Israeli airspace and hit Israel, central of Israel. So when they see all of these failures, they have to fix their image to the world, because they are narcissists. Narcissist people, they don't like to be portrayed as weak. So what they do, they go and do some goofy stuff. They have planted these explosives in those pagers. People say, oh no, they're smart. They just sat at home and use some kind of remote control to activate those explosives, and this is how they have done it. That is absolutely not true. In fact, I have some people on my channel commenting and saying, oh, this is something absolutely amazing what Israel can accomplish. But no, this is not what happened. I'll tell you what. But let's talk about Benjamin Netanyahu. Right now he's panicking. He said we did not do it, his government. But then you have him sitting for a emergency meeting with his war cabinet, including the minister Yoav Gallant in Tel Aviv. For what? If you have not done anything, you can just make a statement and say, no, we have not done anything. They did it. And now they're panicking of a retaliation. Iran's ambassador, this is where it gets things even more interesting. Iran's ambassador to Beirut, Majtaba Amani, was among those injured. This map that I just showed you guys, it is important for all of us to understand the wider conflict. So this is coming in Lebanon. As you can see, Damascus, Syria is right there. And then you can see Lebanon is there and Israel. So they are bordering with Jordan and all of these countries together. And then you also have West Baca, where the explosion took place. So what I understand from all of this, the main reason or the main purpose why Israel did this is because they cannot win this war on a face-to-face battle. Means they cannot go and eliminate any threat from Hezbollah, because Hezbollah and entities like Houthis, they are really not kind of like an army that Israel can easily target. They cannot eliminate them, in other words. They always send drones and small rockets and sometimes ballistic missile, cruise missiles, or drones in most part. And therefore it is becoming a very big problem for Israel to win this war and stop this attack. So what they do, they adopt the same tactic, which is to be goofy, attack them, and then take no responsibility. Let's think or talk about the US's hypocrisy. Let's talk about that, actually, because I think this is something a lot of people are thinking at the moment. Let's see what Matthew Miller has to say about this particular incident, how they're being so hypocritical. Let's take a listen first.
So we are gathering information on this incident. I can tell you that the U.S. was not involved in it. The U.S. was not aware of this incident in advance, and at this point we're gathering information.
Okay, so again, we are gathering information. Had it been on Israel, if this attack was on Israel, they would have said, yeah, Hezbollah, terrorist organization, we're going to go after them, we're going to eliminate the threat, we're going to help Israel defend itself, Israel has the right to defend itself. All of those kind of complete different rhetoric would be coming from White House. But because it is Lebanon, because it is Hezbollah who are targeted, we are gathering information. Just like what they said when the Syrian activist Isa Noor was killed. We are gathering information. This is exactly what they said when Akula, the Al Jazeera journalist, was shot dead by Israel. Oh, we are gathering information. But they don't gather information when it comes to Israel doing it. Okay. Oh, sorry. When Lebanon would do it, when Israel would do it, yeah, we are gathering information. We were not involved. So the U.S. said that it had no advanced knowledge of the attack and had played no operational or intelligence role in the explosions, which I don't buy, simply because these pagers, gadgets, they were coming from Taiwanese company, and U.S. has a very good relationship with Taiwan. So without the knowledge of U.S., who control a lot of the trade agreements and has the upper hand over this kind of export-import business of Taiwan, has absolutely no knowledge about these devices, is something very, very suspicious. U.S. has lost all its credibility, so everything Matthew Miller would say, to me at least, would not be acceptable. So now what is happening? Several foreign airlines, so Israel is panicking, as we know. They are now talking rubbish, all kind of bullocks coming from their government. Oh, we're going to go and fight Hezbollah now because we are withdrawing from Gaza. And the Gaza war is dying down. There is no enemy there. All of these are propaganda. All of these are lies. They are panicking. We know that. So several foreign airlines, including Lufthansa and Air France, on Tuesday evening said they were suspending flights to and from Tel Aviv for the coming days. Now let's talk about the explosive a little bit more here, because I think it is very, very important. A lot of people are giving credit to Israel, commending their effort, saying that, oh, look how smart they are, they can just sit at home and use those software. Israel planted those explosives, and this is coming in the New York Times report. They planted these explosives in pagers sold to Hezbollah. Officials say a small amount of explosives were implanted in beepers that Hezbollah had ordered from Taiwanese company, according to American and other officials. New York Times says Israel carried out its operation against Hezbollah on Tuesday by hiding explosive material within a new batch of Taiwanese-made pagers imported into Lebanon. In other words, this was an act of terrorism. If U.S. was to define for us what terrorism is, they would use this incident as a very good one. Trust me. But because it is Israel, oh no, we had no knowledge, we are gathering information, But this is terrorism, because you cannot use somebody else's, device, and I don't know how they managed to get all of this small amount of explosives into those devices. I don't know how they did it, but it is not something acceptable, because you are then engaged in a terrorism act. You're targeting civilians. You're not targeting Hezbollah. You're not targeting your enemies. You're targeting civilians, because you are randomly putting those explosives into those devices without knowing where they are going to end up. And this is why we have seen small children got killed. The pagers which Hezbollah had ordered from Gold Apollo in Taiwan had been tampered with before they reached Lebanon, according to some of the officials. Most were companies AR-924. Some of them were not from the same company, but the explosive material, as little as 1 or 2 ounces, was implanted next to the battery in each pager. Two of the officials said a switch was also embedded that could be triggered remotely to detonate the explosive. So again, this is an act of terrorism, what Israel did. And of course, US is going to support them. US going to do their investigation. And it will take maybe 100,000 years before they find anything conclusive. And then they will just protect Israel. You are in a mediator position, US. You cannot take sides, but you do, and always you do. This is a problem with your mediation, so-called care for human life. I mean, these are people who talk about human life and talk about terrorism, and they have their CIA and all of these agencies working for them to stop terrorist acts all throughout the world. They hold Putin accountable. Putin, he destroyed Ukraine. He's targeting Ukrainian people, civilians. Oh, he's a bad guy, evil guy. He must be gone. We must eliminate his threat. But then the next thing you see from them is helping Israel, countries like Israel, to conduct this kind of terrorist act. Something absolutely shameful of what U.S. doing at the moment. Some comments here. Dong, John, thank you guys. John, World Peace, Linda, and John, Jack, thank you guys. If you have any more comments, leave a comment in the comment section. See you in the next video. Have a wonderful